December 3rd. I know I had mentioned yesterday that I would probably going to be working in a basement today. So what I'm doing down there is I'm refinishing the floor. But there was one more step that I needed to complete before I'm ready to start doing that. So today I'm actually in my eldest room and I'm going to prep to paint his room. During quarantine, I have repainted most of the kids' rooms. This is the only one that's left. The other 4 were already done. So he went with me to the paint shop last week and he picked out a paint color. And I am just today washing down all the baseboards. I'm going to be painting the baseboards, fixing the nicks in the wall, and hopefully we'll get to painting the walls. I'm hoping tomorrow. I have a fun feature wall going in, actually 2 feature walls going in. So we'll see how that goes. He's really excited because, like I said, he's the oldest and he's the only one whose room hasn't been done yet. We ordered him a new bed, so the bed frame is actually coming today, and then the mattress should be here next week. So I'm hoping to have the room done by the time the new bed gets here so he can move back in. So for the time being, he's moved down into our guest room in our basement while I make a big mess of his room. Because I just sent him a picture at school with literally the room empty. So he's prepared that when he gets home, he'll have to sit up in our guest room for a few days. Again, so I've just finished up in my son's room for this round. So I finished wiping down all the baseboards, vacuuming, removing all of his things. I've patched the holes in the wall. We did caulking around the trim and around the windows. So I'm just waiting for that to dry, and then later this afternoon I'll have to go up and sand off the excess filler and prime a couple of spots that I know the paint won't cover or it will come through, because I don't usually prime the whole wall. So I definitely got to prime a couple of spots where one of the little kids would have colored on the wall with like a pen or a marker, so I know that that will bleed through. It is a pretty dark color that we're using on most of the walls, so I'm not too worried about it, but that's up later today. And I did have a relatively productive morning. We got the kids off to school. Their school starts around 9, so we got them off to school, and then I sat and had a cup of coffee this morning with my husband while he was working, and I actually managed to knit the 3rd stripe on my advent sock. So the Dunbarrock cable is starting to really show up there. You can see it much better now. Let's see, it's shining through. There you go. So that's starting to show up, so I'm right on track. I got my 4th color coming here, so that's perfect. I'm really enjoying this now. I am only knitting one sock right now. I'll have to find another pair of needles somewhere so that I can catch up with the 2nd sock, so that I'm going to have a pair on Christmas morning, but I'm not sure what I did with all my sock needles. But right now I'm just taking a moment to sit down and relax, catch my breath, while my husband ran out to get some lunch for us, so he'll be back shortly with that. And I thought in the meantime I would open my advent calendars, and I might take a moment and work on my 2018 advent socks, because I have fallen very far behind. I am only at the heel flap. So this is my 2018 colorway. I think there was 18 stripes that I've knit so far. This is the heel flap. You can see there it is a partridge heel that I'm putting in here. For this pair I used a gold stellina. For the cuff, here I'll just hold them together so you can see. one is just a smidge warmer than the other. So I'm going to try to get a couple of rows into that because it would be super awesome to have both pairs done by Christmas, but that might be a really lofty goal for me. I'm not sure that that's going to happen because I'm sure I'm going to get distracted by something else. For example, my advent calendar. I've already shown you the first 2 skeins that I got in my mini advent calendar from Suburban Stitcher, which is dyed by Diane, who is in Texas. So these are the first 2. This was December 1st and December 2nd. So I couldn't wait till tonight to open my calendar and see what the 3rd skein is. So let's have a peek. I know she said she had like a whole family helping wrap up all these little packages. And the first year that I did the Advent skein in 2018, I also did a mini skein calendar, and I underestimated how much work it was to wrap all these up. And I only did maybe a dozen or 2 of them. So I know it's a lot of work and I really appreciate it. Ooh, look at this. Okay. So see here, this is the fade so far. So this is supposed to be a fading set. So this is the 3rd color. So this one here has a bit more darker purples and pinks in it. This one here doesn't have quite as much pink showing through. It's more lavender. So that's really, really pretty. It's very exciting. I can't wait to see what this ends up looking like. And I messaged Diane yesterday and said, I love it. I mean, I've only seen, at that time, I'd only seen 2 skeins, but I can already tell that I'm going to love this. And I just don't know what it will become yet, like what project is going to be worthy of these minis. And I got a message from my friend Ramona, who said, are you going to show what's in your other calendars? I'm assuming she is referring to my beauty calendar. And so I'll show you here what was in the first 2. This was December 1st. It is a lip balm. It is the Ultra Rich Lip Balm, it says. Let's see, I don't know if it'll focus. And then yesterday, it had this. It is the Ultra Rich cream for body, which I was, I've actually already gifted this to my son, my middle son. He has 2 dry spots like right here that will not go away. So I told him, well, you can take this and just dab on like a little bit every morning when you get up, especially now when it's dry outside. And hopefully they will clear up. They don't bother him. They're not itchy or anything. It's just these 2 spots. They will not go away. And then this morning when my youngest got up, he is loving opening his chocolate calendar every morning. My mother had sent them calendars from Europe. So he boots for those the second he gets up in the morning. He doesn't even have time to say good morning to you. And this morning he asked if he could help me open my calendar as well. So he did. So this morning we opened the 3rd door, and it is, I'm really excited about this because it is one of my favorite hand balms for the winters. It is the Dry Skin Hand Cream. And this thing, it is amazing. I've been gifted this twice before actually by a couple of friends, and I love it. I love it in the winter when your hands are just really, really dry. And I use it a lot when I'm dyeing because I find it works really well, and it doesn't, it soaks in and doesn't keep your hands sticky. So this is definitely a favorite of mine. So I was super excited to see that in there, and that will be tucked away in a project bag or my purse or something along those lines, because I know I will use it lots. And I also just wanted to show you this. I love hand poured candles, and there's 2 companies that I sort of go between. So there's Wax and Wool, who has some really, really lovely scents. She carries one of my favorites. It is called Mimosa, and there's another one called Pretty in Pink. Now these are usually her spring, summer, Mother's Day scents. So I'll try to stock up on those then. And I've been lucky enough to meet Kirsty. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not sure because it looks like a Scandinavian name. So I want to pronounce it with my Danish accent, but I'm not sure that that's how she would pronounce her name because I believe she lives in state of Washington. But anywho, I was lucky enough to meet her last year at Knit City when they had a booth. I was there as well. It was vending, and I was peeking through the curtain to see the booth that was sort of behind me. And that's where she was setting up along with Libby and May. So that was really, really, really tempting. I couldn't help myself. And I was over there, I don't know how many times shopping. So I brought home a few of her candles then. But today I am burning a candle by another candle company that I really like. I believe they're out of Indiana. I was gonna say Illinois, but they're out of Indiana. It is the, I don't know if you can tell, it's Antique Candle Co. And this here is one of my favorite scents. It's called Country Pear. And I follow a couple of like lifestyle home decor accounts on Instagram, and one of them is Cotton Stem, and that is by Erin. And this is a scent that she collaborated with Antique Candle Co. in developing, and it is really, really lovely. So I have that burning today. And I think my husband just pulled in the driveway, so I'm gonna sign off for now and have a lovely lunch, and then it's back to work in my son's room. Okay, so it's after lunch. I'm back in my son's room. It is time to paint all of the trim. So I've got my trusty brush, and coincidentally enough, the name of the brush is Corona. This is my favorite brush. I don't even know how old this brush is, probably a couple years, but it's still beautiful. And it's the only one that doesn't give me streaks, so that's what I'm sticking with. And I am painting all of the trim in our house. It is Benjamin Moore. It is Simply White in semi-gloss. So back to work. Well, guys, it's almost 9 o'clock and we literally just finished dinner. I had been up in my room, or my son's room, and I'm about as tired as I look. I've been painting all day. I got all of the trim painted. I got all the sort of nicks in the wall puttied, and a couple of places needed 2 coats. So I got the second coat on, need to sand that off tomorrow. Got all the caulking done, and hopefully tomorrow I'll be ready to start the wall paint. I did put a little swatch on the wall just to see what it looked like. It's so hard to tell from pictures. We did like a lot of looking on Pinterest to sort of figure out what he wanted and what color he liked. So it's on the wall. It has been approved by the teenager, so I'm all ready to go for tomorrow to paint the walls. And yeah, we just finished dinner. My husband's actually still in a meeting. He has a Zoom meeting tonight, so we're still waiting to start a movie, so I'm not sure we'll get to it tonight. It is 9 o'clock, and the 2 littles do have school tomorrow, so we'll see. We might put them to bed and watch a more grown-up Christmas movie with the older boys. We'll see what we get up to. But yeah, I'm really tired, so I think I'm just gonna go grab my knitting and put my feet up and wait for my husband to be done his meeting, and we'll see what we end up doing tonight. But I will check in with you again tomorrow.